Hey, comrades. Hope you're all doing well. We're here to hit up the chapter 11 of Nikke, called The Strongest. So we are able to recover a Mantis with some backup batteries they have, and we find out that theirs run out because they didn't prepare correctly for the mission they got sent on. And what was the mission? The mission was to track us and to get the heretic fragments, just like us. And so there's some arguments back and forth between Absolute and Mantis mostly. Let's see. Da, da, da. And then one of the things is Yunhua is like, how did you guys find out? And then Maxwell explains that Missilis has an intel group that tracks Absolute. Like, they have a whole group that just tracks Absolute and what they're doing. And so Sayun was able to get information that they're heading out with the counters and they were heading out to Area H. And she's like, oh, puts two and two together, time to follow these guys. Maxwell also explains that, like, they had gone on a mission, and as they were about to come back, Sayun's like, nope, stop that, go follow these guys. And so they did, and that's why they ran out of batteries, right? Because they just had no time for prep. There's some banter back and forth from everybody, and then it's time to sleep. And then Yunhua like, you think you're going to join us? And Max was like, yeah, Ladoy, of course we're going to join you. And Laplace volunteers to do guard duty throughout the night. The next day, we get to a bridge, and the bridge is not able to hold everybody because Nikkes are heavy, and everyone dances around the subject because they're all beautiful women, and they don't want to talk about how heavy they are. It's the most realistic thing in this whole game. They then argue about the order. Absolute should go first. No, we don't trust you. We don't trust Mattis behind her back. Mattis is like, all right, we'll go first. And it's like, no, we don't trust you guys on the other side. You're going to like blow up the bridge or do something. And then it's like, okay, well, we'll take the commander. And then they're like, no, we don't trust that. And so finally it's like, Rappy's like, I'll go as well. So Rappy and us and Rappy go with Mattis. We cross over the side of the bridge. A Rapture attacks. Laplace blows out her big fucking cannon, blows the shit out of it. The Rapture crashes in the bridge, and bye-bye bridge. Everyone is stunned. Maxwell's like, God damn it, Laplace. And Drake is like, oh good, our evil plan is coming too. And Maxwell's like, there's no evil plan. That happened by accident. Laplace then tries to yell across the chasm because it's too far, and then Shifty's with us, and she can't go that far. She can't be transmitted that far because she's with like a device with us, and so she can communicate to people like in the area, but she can't communicate all across this like clearly vast bridge. Yunwei and Vesti start firing rockets and guns over at us, and so I run for cover. Drake loves it. At some point, Shifty calls in. Elysion is pissed about this thing, and then Ingrid shows up because she's in like the command center with Shifty. Maxwell tries to explain the situation, and then Sayun pops up, who's also there, I guess. And so that we get a scene of Ingrid and Sayun yelling at each other, insulting each other, physical threats. And then they're like, all right, let's go fight. And they both disappear, and Shifty's like, I think they're going to go physically fight outside. And then a little bit later, Rappy is talking to Maxwell, and she's like, it's nice that Sayun cares for you guys so much. She's willing to step in and do that stuff. But as like we saw in their event from like way long ago, like event number 2, Maxwell explains that she just sees them as expensive toys. That, like, they're her favorite toys, but they're still toys nonetheless, and that her love for them only goes as far as they're useful. And that they're used to being used by Sayun however she pleases. Laplace then questions our relationship with Rappy, and she's like, I notice you guys aren't just like a Nikke and a commander, you seem more like comrades. And then we're like, yeah, she is. We're definitely comrades. And then Maxwell gets concerned. She talks about Nikkes are just tools, and that relationship with commanders can't exist. And then Laplace steps in, and she's like, you're way too close. I don't like it. I don't like how you're helping Rappy and that not like the other way around. Nikke should always be heroic, and they should always support their commander. Commanders shouldn't have to support their Nikkes. And Rappy's like, I don't give a fuck what you think. This is my boy. This is my man. Maxwell then apologizes for Laplace. She's like, I'm sorry, she's crazy. Later on, we're noticing that the concentration of raptures in this area is threefold. It's way more than it should be, and then it's getting denser and denser the closer we get to the heretic fragment. So clearly, they also want this heretic fragment, or there's something else going on. We kill the shit out of a lot of them, and eventually we reach our destination. Rappy sends up a flare to let the others know where we're at, and Yunwei immediately shoots it down. And Rappy's like, well, good, she knows where we're at, but she's pissed. At that juncture, Maxwell and everyone starts talking about, hey, how that ground looks weird and how there should really be a hole here because that's where the heretic collapsed and there was a big hole before, but now it just seems like it's not. It's fake. And so Shifty does an analysis and finds out that the ground actually exists like 200 meters down, and this is all like fake ground. Then tentacles shoot up and hit everybody. All of Mattis and Rappy And then they break out of those, and then Raptures come into fight, and there's a huge fight, a big ambush. And afterwards, the girls were like, "Wait a second, the ground's starting to shift. I think we went too hard." And as the ground like gives way, Rappy grabs onto us and holds us tight so that we're going to be protected by her as we fall down, down, down. And that ends the story. It's pretty short this time around. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you guys later.